Hello my friends, welcome back. It is an exciting day indeed at the house because today I am going to start the process of tackling this side door patio. I've been talking about it for years now, literally. And you know what? I think today is the day. So my hope and goal is to get this cleaned out, dig the rest of this out. I've dug out some of it when we made that little bed, which by the way is just the cutest thing. My sweet peas are growing so well. They're not quite to the point where I'm like, okay, gonna start training them up. They're not quite to the point where they will stay up, but they're growing. They seem to be doing well. I've got everything's just a mess around here. I'm trying to get all of these little projects done so that I don't have to worry about projects being half done all over the place, and I can focus on the big project, which is the back stone patio. So I'm making myself wait and not start that until everything else is somewhat in order. So I'm just gonna get to it, see where we can go with this, and try to get things out of the way. Now, I don't know, I think I may have told you this, but I'm planning on doing this side patio this year, but not doing the one by the front door until next year, unless I'm like totally wanting to do it later on after that patio is done. But I'm not going to stress out about it. I just want to get these ones done, and then I'll focus on that next year, because that is turning into a bigger thing than just that little part by the door. It's going to be a whole walkway in front of the garden as well. So we're going to take things one day at a time here. But my thought is, if I get this whole patio area done, and then the back patio also, when I get stone dust for the back patio, I can have this one ready to put the stone dust on here as well. That is what I'm thinking. And this, another thing I'm thinking is this big, beautiful rock, which is quite flat. I think I'm probably going to put that in the back patio instead of here. Because when everything is done with stones, it doesn't actually matter if there's a big rock for right when you step in, because it's all going to be flat and stone. But what does matter is areas where, like, I'm going to have my table and chairs and stuff on the patio. I want those to be as flat as possible. So I'm going to keep all of my really good flat rocks for that area. Okay, let's get digging. Okay, so the ground has been dug out. I apologize that the shadow is like right in the work zone, so it makes everything dark for you guys. However, I am appreciating that the shadow is in the work zone because it makes it a lot cooler than, 2 feet over there. So it's dug out. Basically, like I said in my other video, my sand that I have is from my dad's sand pit, and apparently it's a very porous sand, so it's really good for drainage. Therefore, in the other patio, I'm not even using any gravel. I'm just using the sand. I got these last year. I don't think it's nearly enough anyway, but I'm gonna put it out just because I have them. Actually, I'm gonna put down landscape fabric. I've done so much research on stone patio stuff, and the moral of the story is, you can look it up yourself. They say that landscape fabric does not stop the weeds. It's more for ground stabilization or something like that. but seeds come up in the cracks because it's like seeds from the air. They land and then they grow in basically the sand that's underneath the stones. The sand that's underneath the stones and in my eye. But basically, from what I see, you can do your best, but stuff is always going to try to grow and probably eventually grow. So all you can do is your best. But because the guy at Lowe's told me I needed landscape fabric because he was probably just trying to sell stuff, I did get it. So I'm going to put it down anyway. Maybe this land needs to be stabilized. I don't know. I guess it can help with like really deep rooted weeds. I don't think that's the case here, especially because not much was growing in here anyway because it's sand. And when we redid this foundation, we got a bunch of sand and that's what's here. But since I'm not planning on growing anything, I might as well just put this down because like I said, I have it. The guy told me to buy it, so I bought it. Might as well use it. And I also think I might put this over by the bay window where I might just put some gravel like this because I don't want stuff to grow there. And this is obviously also not enough, but it'll hold down the fabric at least until I put the sand down. And I'm mostly just trusting Mark's opinion on it because he knows a lot about this stuff and he does, you know, septic tanks and stuff all the time. So he knows about sand and what it's good for. So I'm going to trust that because that sand is porous, it's going to work for this. This whole area is going to be kind of like my trial run for the real stone patio. Seems a little bit less high stakes and less just a lot. And yet now that I'm looking at it, still kind of seems like a lot, huh? I feel like it's going to be still a fairly big job. What I don't want is any landscape fabric in my garden bed. Because I have dealt with that in the past, trying to get it out. Misery. Remember how you're supposed to have 5 or 6 inches of gravel? This is so far from that. Okay, as always, don't watch me to see how you're supposed to do something. I don't know what, like, you must always have to get an actual truckload of stuff. If you were to buy 5 or 6 inches of these little bags to do a project like this, which I don't think is a huge project, that would cost $1 million. Oh, come on. Okay, I already regret the landscape fabric. Okay, this is a pitiful waste, guys. I don't even know why I show my things on YouTube because I'm always doing them wrong. Not the correct way of doing things. I really don't see much of a point of this. But again, 5 or 6 inches would be a lot. Okay, whatever. We're gonna put the drainage sand in next. And keep in mind, I'll at least tell you the correct way to do things. After the 5 or 6 inches, you're supposed to have 1 inch of the sand. I'm gonna put like way more than that. But then you put the pavers on top. Of course, my pavers are not pavers, they're natural stone, and they're all different thicknesses. So I kind of have to have all different thicknesses of sand if I want the top to be level-ish. What else is interesting? I want it to go up to underneath the siding here. But I also want it to slope away from the house. But when I'm looking at it here, it looks like the driveway is up further than the siding is. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Maybe I can rake the driveway down a little bit. Thankfully, I do have gutters up here, so it's not gonna actually get that much rain. It's just whatever actually comes straight down on it. So what I want to do is have stones like I do over by the sweet peas. Stones along this garden. There we go. I'm hoping that will help be a weed barrier and also just look nice. Okay, it's a start. I'm gonna run over and grab some stones and maybe just kind of work section to section, at least so there's a walkway in the meanwhile. So I'm gonna head over to my deconstructed stone wall from last year and see what stones we can find. Okay, this is like my nightmare. So I'm looking for, go away snakes, but invisibly. I'm looking for nice, but not too nice. Flat, but not too flat, because the really flat ones I want to use for the other patio. That's gorgeous. Oh, this is just horrifying and terrifying for me. Kind of sad. I mean, I know it was the right choice to use that big one for the stone patio in the back because it is so flat, but I'm kind of sad because it took up so much space. It's so pretty. Okay, we'll get started with these. Next time I come over here, I should be wearing like full pants and sneakers because that does give me like a little bit more comfort, but it's just not my favorite. Oh, this goes up to like here, generally speaking, which means I think I'm gonna need more sand. I just know that I'm gonna regret not having him bring 2 loads of sand. But, well, there you can always get more, I guess. So it would for sure be easier to do all of this if everything was the same height of stone. That is just not the way that natural stone goes. So, okay, interesting. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Tamp it down. I bought a tamper. thing's heavy. Which I guess is the point. Now it was nice in the back because Mark just drove over everything with the equipment, and that really pushed it in place. Whew, getting my workout every which way from Tuesday. So it's actually even lower than that, despite the fact that it's not painted down there. But I can always go back and paint it more later, so. This is going to be quite a process, guys, but I'm going to see what I can get done. Hey guys, just wanted to give you an update. I have been working on the stones a little bit more now after dinner, so I wanted to show you how much I got done. Ta-da! Oh, wow, that looks really nice, doesn't it? I am being eaten alive, so it's a good time to stop. But the good news is I don't hate it. So that is very happy. Like, if I wasn't getting eaten alive, I probably would keep working on it. I keep just like getting a few more stones, and I'm like, just a few more stones. No doubt I will, you know, hate it after a while or get really sick of it. But it is kind of like a fun little puzzle, and I think it's looking really, really gorgeous. Plus, well, I don't know how long I just worked on it, but I only started this project at 2 p.m. And I took a pretty long break, like, I don't know how long I worked in total, but I'm guessing laying stones only about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. So that's not bad. Obviously I had to do all of the work preparation, but I don't have to do any of that on the back patio. And I think that the hardest part is getting the ones around the outside. That's what I dread the most. I kind of enjoy the puzzle on the inside, and all of the outside ones are already pretty much done. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I've been doing 0 things about making sure that it's level. I've just kind of like put the top one in, put that one by the driveway, and then just kind of make them all about the same height, and it seems to be working fine. So I'm encouraged about the whole process. I think it looks so stinking good. I'm hoping that the weather will be nice tomorrow and I can finish it up. And of course, we'll have to wait for the stone dust, unfortunately, but at least we can go back to normal life and get all this stuff put away. So yay, fun stuff. I will show you the continued process, and hopefully we'll be done before we know it. Okay, we did it. I knew that we could. Look at that beautiful walkway. This makes me so excited for how gorgeous the patio is going to be. And think, as beautiful as this is, I was specifically trying to get the bad ones that were not really flat and really beautiful because I want to keep the extra flat ones for areas where I'm actually going to have like furniture and stuff, whereas this is just for walking. But it came out so nicely. Wow, and look at how gorgeous it looks with my pots. Ah, so beautiful. Apparently I need to weed my driveway, but that is probably a task for a different time because quite frankly, the mosquitoes are attacking. And if I start doing this, I won't stop. It's addicting, which is good, I guess, but I don't want to do it right now. I literally cannot get over how beautiful this looks. Also, I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this video because it might be all you're seeing for the next little while. As I work on the patio, that's gonna be a big, big project. I think what I want to do is get all of the stones that I have in my piles around all in one kind of open, laid out everywhere space so that I can see what I'm working with. That was what was really hard, the fact that they were all in different places. I was trying to get the bumpy ones specifically, and they were just in like a pile, so it was hard to get the stuff that was underneath, whereas I think if I try to lay them out, as nasty it's going to be on the lawn is not great anyway, but I think that's what I need to do, just lay them all out even before I get really started, so that way I have a much better idea of what I have available, because a lot of times you're better off to measure your space and then go find the perfect rock. That seemed to work well. Obviously, sometimes you can just work and put them together, but there are times when you really need something specific. And with this specific area, which I won't have that problem over there, the different thicknesses, some of these were probably like 4 or 5 inches thick. And I think I wasn't really expecting that, and probably should have had this quite a bit deeper for those ones, but of course some of them were only an inch thick, so it varies so much. I'm really hoping that the way that I did this was okay and will last okay. I know it was not always the correct way. None of it was the correct way, probably, but some areas really do not have a lot of sand just because the rocks themselves were so thick. But over on the actual patio will probably be easier because it's a lot thicker of a layer of sand. So unfortunately we can't see the final product until I get the stone dust in. I'm going to get stone dust for both of the areas all at once. I think that will add a really nice finishing touch, but just the way it is looks incredibly gorgeous. I love so much this stone in particular because there are so many like brown colors to it. They're not just all gray, it's my color palette to a T. I mean, look how beautifully it goes with these pots, which I saw and just absolutely drooled over, not even realizing that that's what my whole stones are all like. So I'm incredibly blessed with the number of stones and the beautifulness of my stones. I really hope I have enough stones for that entire like 30 feet by 30 feet stone patio that I'm going to be making. That's a lot of work and a lot of stones, so I'm hoping that I have enough, preferably without going and searching for a million hours just to get a bunch from the forest. While I know that I do have a ton back there, I'd really prefer not to have to go searching for that. But before I get eaten alive, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Be sure to stay tuned as we've got exciting things happening here, and wow-dee-dow, this looks so gorgeous. One more look before we go. Yep, that's where it's at. Wow-dee-dow. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tap the bell to stay notified with new videos. We're going to be doing a lot more stonework this summer. I'm going to be really strong by the end of this summer. Not even kidding. My whole body just aches. And I haven't even started the back patio, so it should be fun. You don't want to miss out. I'll see you guys next time on A Drill and a Dream.